here. We are at the Agency Arms party, and we're gonna shoot some real guns.
Agency Arms graciously invited RedWolf to their private party for an opportunity to try their brand new NOC Pistol. I had a go. Gambit nearly peed himself with excitement as the NOC was the first real steel firearm he had ever fired. Jensen and Robo had to give it a go as well, obviously. He also had a go at their brand new M4 rifle called Classified. It felt bloody amazing. Now for the fun of it. Does this remind you of Star Wars? Anyone?
To show you.
I know these are all real steel firearms, but since RWA have the official license to manufacture the Airsoft replica, I thought it useful to learn more about the NOC and the Classified. We have Aaron Cohen, an Agency Arms asset, describing the Classified rifle.
Would you choose one brand over another brand? Quality is quality, but there are features on the AR platform that can be improved. And when people get together and start thinking about that, they find new ways to do things that some people just didn't think of before. Sometimes it's a little fix, but sometimes it's something...
Apologies for the shaky camera work.
Game changer. But what I will say is this rifle does bring a lot of value-added products to the platform that are going to be definitely something that you might prefer in a rifle system if you're looking for a new one. So what we have here is the Agency Arms Project Classified. First thing you're probably going to notice is the upper and lower receiver. It appears to be billet, but it is not. It is actually forged, and in the forging process they maintain to be able to take weight out of the upper and lower receiver. It's fully ambidextrous. So this is a rifle system. You'll notice the rail up front is both Picatinny and key mod. The main reason for that is a lot of your hard products, such as your military style flashlights like from Surefire or your D-balls or your PEX, they default to Picatinny. So if you want to mount it on a key mod rail, you have to get some kind of adapter. Well, now you don't. So where you're going to put those accessories, it gives you the option to do key mod or Picatinny on the rail surface. Next thing that I think is a really cool feature is the castle nut. It is a ratcheting castle nut system. It's toolless. If you needed to do an immediate removal, if you had a mass stoppage or something in the bolt carrier group, you can do it without tools. You can either use PWS's enhanced buffer tube, or you can use whatever buffer tube you'd like. Fully ambidextrous, it's got the AXTS short throw, and they will be shipping with the new rail scales PDC panel, polymer panels, instead of the G10. That's a new thing that Railscales has out. For the muzzle device, right now it's got the dead air pyro on it, which gives you a comp. So if you need a comp, you throw it on, but if you don't want a comp, all the way out, you remove it and you have a flash hider. The awesome thing about this flash hider, if you guys are familiar with the three prongs, they usually change the length of the dimensions to avoid harmonics so it doesn't ping. The changes are so slight you can't really see them until you closely inspect it, but the variances are changed slightly so it maintains an aesthetic appeal and it maintains symmetry, but it doesn't give you the ping like you'd get if it was fully symmetrical. They're going to ship with MBUS Pro sights. Ambidextrous controls, you've got an ambidextrous bolt release, you've got an ambidextrous magazine release, and my personal opinion is somebody finally put the ambidextrous release on the left side of the gun for the magazine in the right place. Me being an ambidextrous shooter, when I run the rifle on the left side of my body, this is where I want that magazine release versus where some people put it higher up on the frame or right there. It also includes the ALG trigger. The bolt carrier group is suppressor ready. This is from Bootleg. It is a 4-position adjustable, user adjustable from the outside bolt carrier group. It's got 2 suppressed and 2 unsuppressed settings.
Should RWA make these for Airsoft as AEGs, GBBRs?
This is the Agency Arms NOC.
Paul Van Dunk, another Agency Arms asset, now takes us through the NOC.
It's somewhat of a sight tracking lock. What's cool about the gun right off the bat that we notice is we have a 17 overall length. So it's a 19 frame, 19 slide. Overall length is that of a 17. It'll work with a standard 17 holster. You don't have to modify anything unless you have a different kind of light you want to put on it. That's completely up to the individual. It does sport warring sights. So let's forget about that for now. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of everything here. So the comp threads onto the barrel. All right. The reason we did that was it's very difficult to permanently affix a compensator to a firearm of this nature, being a Glock, because it's not a Browning design. The barrel doesn't come out the front, the barrel comes out the inside, so it's very difficult to do that. What we did was we timed threading, we distanced and spaced everything out, so when the gun is in cycle, everything works the way it's supposed to. We messed around with many different size ports. We decided on one size that will run the majority of manufacturers' ammo types. The benefit to this is this firearm is not a firearm based on one idea. This firearm is based on a collaborative effort between Randy and Mike himself. And this really caters to a lot of demographics of shooters. This isn't just a one niche gun. This can cater to a lot of shooters. So we didn't want to paint anybody into a corner with the firearm, so that's why we went with Lone Wolf for our frame. We did keep, obviously, our accelerator cut, which we've been able to get a little bit more aggressive on because of the depth that we can achieve with that frame. The next biggest thing that we have with this firearm is obviously this is a sight tracking gun. Now obviously it's not a 1911 or a 2011, so the ability to actually have the barrel stay put is a problem, but it does cant down a little bit. Some of you that shot it yesterday did realize that the sight doesn't move very much through operation. So why Project NOC? Why bother? Why do it? Well, because we decided that we wanted to offer something to the community that hasn't been done in a while, and we thought it needed a refresher. So we went ahead and we did that. Now, one of the coolest things about this setup, and you'll see this across the board with a lot of guns in its type, while the gun is in operation, as it moves back to battery, this relief here in the taper allows that timing to go back to center. The coolest thing about that is, while the gun's being run fast, and any debris or anything that happens to get in there, channels it right out of there. We've run the gun. Each gun has had well over 4,000 rounds through it in its prototype phase. We wish we could have got more in, but we wanted a great SHOT Show launch. The recoil assembly is at 13, 15, and 18 pounds. It will be offered in 3 different spring rates. This is to cater to other shooters that may want to run a heavier, hotter load, a lower pressure load, or they want to make power factor. The other cool thing about this gun is you'll notice that we finally added the extra serrations that everyone wants. So this is great for those guys that want to do a tap rack over the top. They want to do a tap rack and pinch. It caters to a lot of different types of shooters. That's what's one of the really cool things about it. The next reason we went with a Lone Wolf frame is how many of us that shoot 19s get slide bite. It's one of those things that we can't avoid. With the Agency Arms grip package, when we remove the finger grooves, when we do our stipple jobs, generally speaking, depending on your hand size, you're going to get slide bite. We all know that sucks, but we all work through it. With this one, obviously the Lone Wolf offers the extended Beaver tail. We also radius the rear of the tail to kind of make it ours, so you'll notice right here that we have a little bit of a radius and a scoop. It's one of the things that we love to do to kind of help shelf that gun back up into your hand. Going on down the gun, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a lip here. This lip helps most people with a shooting grip to shelf your hand back up into that gun to keep as tight as you possibly can. We are still offering the battle plate on all NOCs. I call it the zero commitment slide. You guys can go RMR, you guys can...
The NOC would be a very interesting project for RWA. A slide that can fit on a 17 or 19 with a Lone Wolf frame can cater to a variety of shooters. Would you like to own an Airsoft replica of the NOC Unclassified? Let us know in the comments section below. See you guys on the next episode. Pornstash out.